welcome you all. Very good morning to all. And so let me introduce Mr. Neelanjan Ghosh first. So he's a experienced technology leader with more than 14-year experience in IT consulting and software development. And currently he's product lead for AIML in core engineering Google, where he focus more building cutting edge knowledge graph and NL to SQL interface. And his tenure at Google has also included role as a cloud technological solution engineer, SME specialization in big data. And before his 5 years in Google, he spent almost 6 years in Informatica in position including lead engineer. And his early career at Tata Consultancy Service saw him recognized in both Star of the Month and Spot of on the Spot Award. It's a very popular. And beyond his corporate achievement, Mr. Ghosh is deeply engaged with broader tech community and is esteemed IET fellow as well as IEEE senior member and mentor. And he holds Master of Science in Management in Information System for Texas A&M University, and he's hold BTech in Information Technology for West Bengal University of Technology. And so uh, it is thank you, Mr. Neelanjan, for joining with us. I hope this season will be very interactive and this is our students will get benefited from you. I
You're on mute, Professor. You're on mute.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah. So I hope this season will be interactive and our students will be get benefited from you and your expertise. Okay. So over to you, Mr. Nilanjan.
Thank you so much, Professor Gorango. Thank you so much, Professor Kranti, as well, for the warm welcome. I would like to thank the Dean of Manipal Institute of Technology. At the same time, the Associate Dean, the professors, and you, students, for joining this particular session. It's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege to speak to you. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. I want you to come and ask questions. Questions can be dumb as possible. Do not worry about whether your question is kind of make sense or not. Ask questions as much as possible. Um, Make sure you just stop me even in the middle of the presentation. The more questions you ask, the better I will be able to share my experience, share my knowledge, which will be beneficial to you all. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Any questions before we start? I'm not going to get into any of the software engineering details because your professors are well equipped. They are very learned. Um, and they will be covering everything in your courses. What my aim today would be is to give you practical concepts. What happens in the industry, how industry works, how you can land internships. You are studying here to land internships. You're studying here to land full-time opportunities in multinational companies, right? You are here for that. You are here to probably become a professor like your professors. You want to probably do a graduate level coursework, probably a Master of Science, a PhD going forward. So how you can navigate that. So that is something which I'm going to touch upon. And let's get started. Any questions? Raise your hand and ask questions. Say, hey, Nilanjan, this is my question. I would like to entertain as many questions as possible. Okay, no questions so far because we have to get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? I need a yes or a no, or
Yes,
else I'm
sir.
not. Okay, awesome. But I do not want the yes and no from professors. I want it from the students. Are you all there with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. I need that. Okay. So I'm going to cover multiple topics, not going into the depth of them, but probably touching some of those to make sure that you know about what topics are being covered in the industry, what is being worked on, how to land internships if you are interested in graduate studies like a Master of Science, PhD, MTech, PhD within India or abroad. I'll try to give as much information as possible according to my knowledge. Um, so before we get into those details, this is me, Neelanjan. Um, I am presently working as a product lead within core engineering at Google. My job responsibilities are envisioning products, what products we should make, coming up with ideas, making sure we gather the business requirements from the business stakeholders, and then actually implement the product. So I am not responsible directly in implementing the product. I give them the vision, the engineering team implements them. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you want to look me up, make sure you can connect with me. Hopefully, you also have a LinkedIn profile, and that is very important for you. I did my BTech at MIT, not Manipal, but Manipal Institute of Technology. I did my BTech, graduated in 2009, joined Tata Consultancy Services, worked there for almost 2.5 years before I realized that I should probably dive deep into the technology sector, hone my skills, and that is where I appeared for my GRE, the Graduate Record Examination, the TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. And somehow I was able to get good grades in my GRE and TOEFL, got an admit from three universities. One was University of Illinois at Chicago, University of Sunny Buffalo, which is in New York, and the other one was Texas A&M. Texas A&M being highly ranked, at the same time cheap. The tuition fees was on the lesser side compared to the other universities. That is why my obvious option was to go to Texas A&M. Graduated from Texas A&M in 2012. Joined University of Texas at Austin as a ETL developer, software engineer. Transition to Informatica. Informatica is a cloud data integration tool. It's a company. Right now, it has been acquired by Salesforce. I'm not sure if you all know about Salesforce or not, but it has been acquired by Salesforce at this time. Joined as a technical support engineer, rose to the rank of lead engineer before I joined Google. I joined Google as a cloud technical solutions engineer in their big data shard. So they have like four shards. One was big data, platform, networking, and there was another was like core. I joined their big data shard, worked there for about year and a half, 1.5 years before I transitioned into core engineering, where I am leading multiple products within core engineering. One is the AI Insights Delivery Interface, like which is based on natural language processing. I also lead the Google Geist program. So there are 180,000 employees spanning across 50 countries for Google, right? So the leaders, even like Sundar Pichai, every VP, SVPs, they want to know about what is happening in my company, what is happening in my organization. They want to know. So there is a survey, employee survey. So end of this particular session, you will get a survey. Similarly, every week, Googlers get a survey. So people who work in Google are called Googlers. So every Googler, every Tuesday, they get a survey. They fill up the survey, and that is how the leads, SVPs, VPs, CEOs, they get information is what is happening in the company, what people are liking, what people are disliking, what way they should improve. So I am the lead for that product as well, which is Google Geist. Enough of my introduction. We will dive into the software engineering concepts. But before that, any questions?
Yeah, few students are asking question in chat box, so I request to see the chat box, please also.
Okay, let
Ah,
me see 1 second. I am more used to using the Google Meet. being in Google. So just a second. So 1 second. Chat. Okay. What are the risks of job hopping? I know it's almost essential for career growth in today's scenario, but how is it to be done? Okay. Hello, Ishani. Thanks for your question. That's a great question, actually. It's a personal choice, I would say. It's a very personal choice. Sometimes what happens for me, I can tell you personally, TCS was a great platform for me. Coming from Manipal Institute of Technology, we looked up to if we can get into TCS. There were only 43 students who got into out of almost 250 students. So we were really fortunate to get into TCS. However, we need to think about it like TCS is more of a consulting firm. What we mean by consulting is it does not develop products. Like, for example, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, or let's say Netflix. They do not develop products. What they do is they provide services to other companies. For example, let's say today we have, what should I say? Today we have, let's say, Google. Even Google hires a lot of contractors, consulting firms like IBM, HCL. TCS is one of those companies. So they provide the workforce where the other companies can work on. They do not develop products. So what I found out is I mean, it was a huge stepping stone for me, but I thought that probably if I can land into product companies, one is I will be able to directly work on products. One, second is the pay structure in product companies are much higher compared to the consulting companies. That is why I was more keen um, towards product companies, and that is why I made that switch. Coming to your question, Ishani, um, so it's a personal choice. Very frequent job hopping is something which the industry does not like, because let's say you work for Google at this point, and within like 6 months you go to another company, Microsoft. They will probably not have that kind of what to say trust on you, because they would like a person to to stay with them for years, because it takes about a year to actually mold an employee, to actually give them that knowledge, to make them productive. A company needs almost a year. I mean, it might seem very absurd. It needs a year to actually bring that employee up to speed. So if you leave that company within a year, the company has already invested in you, right? So the company has invested you, but not able to reap the benefits. So the company won't like that. So if you hop multiple times, the industry will say that no, you are frequent hopper. So you might not stay with my company. I might not hire you going forward. So try to be in a company for like 3, 4 years, 5 years, be a tenured employee. If your career goals are not being met, only then see if you can hop. So that will help you. Hop obviously helps you in growing your salary. One, it helps you learn new technologies. Every company uses new technology, so it will help you to grow as a professional. So absolutely. Does that answer your question, Ishani? Come on. Okay, awesome. Let me, for someone aspiring to join Google, how should you learn comparative programming? Okay, that's a great question. Um, Yashvardhan, I will come up with these answers. I know you have a lot of questions, and we have an ample amount of time today. I will quickly go through these slides, Yashvardhan, and I will come to your questions, all of your questions. I'm sorry, I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. I am here to help you out. But let me go through the slides very quick so that I have prepared those slides just to make sure that I covered them, and then we can field all your questions. Is that okay, Yashvardhan? Come off from your mute and say yes.
Sure, sir.
Okay, awesome. Software development. I know. Can you tell me which year you are in? All. Just give me a ballpark, like first year, second year, or your in your final years.
Third year.
Third year. Okay, that's
Third year.
great. Okay, third year, and any fourth years? Probably no. Okay, I'll take it as a no. Software development, probably you all know about it. I do not need to get into those details. However, software development is a very ever-changing space. You all know about it, and it is more changing at this time, to be honest. In the 2000, it was more about the internet. Then traditional databases came in. 2012, 2014 onwards, we were actually getting rid of these traditional databases and getting into the big data zone, because we were not in like terabytes of data. We were like petabytes, exabytes of data. So we went into the big data zone. Now it is all about cloud. We have transitioned into cloud. That's a new frontier. In 2022 onwards, we have made great strides in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have made huge strides, and we are actually um, transforming the overall business with AI ML, especially with the large language models. How many of you know about large language models? Raise your hands or just say yes. How many of you know large language models? Come on, you have to speak up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you know about large language. Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you, Arsumana. Okay, so software development is an ever-changing world. So we always need to adapt to those changes. Even me today. I mean, I was just a traditional SQL developer. I used to write SQL codes, SQL scripts. I used to write PL SQL stored procedures to automate stuff. Then I transitioned into big data. Now it's all about AI/ML, and specifically in AI/ML, it is about implementation of products with large language models. So right now in the development of the product, you must have read about traditional waterfall model versus the agile. In the industry, we always use agile, because traditional waterfall models, what it does is it's very linear, right? Because you gather the requirements, you create the design end to end. Your requirements has to be frozen in order to get into the design phase. Once your design phase is done completely, you get into implementation. Now what happens is, if your requirement changes, what happens then? So you cannot go back, right? In waterfall model, you have probably your requirement phase took about 6 to 7 months. Your design phase took about 5 to 6 months. So you are almost down by a year before you can actually start developing. So you lost a year, and let's say your business changes the requirements at this time. So last year, let's say 2024 January, you started. 2025 February, your business comes and tells you that, okay, Nilanjan, now the requirements have changed. You develop the product. So will you go ahead and start the requirement phase again? Probably no, right? I mean, it's a waste of time. Your companies will be spending on your employees. So right now in the industry, we follow agile. When I say agile, how I can give you a real world example. So what happened? I was working on a AI insights delivery program within Google. So we were actually developing a natural language processing interface. So all these business leaders like VPs, SVPs, Sundar Pichai, I mean, all of them, they want to know about the organization. So we have vast amounts of data, organization data, like what is the salary distribution of employees? Where are my employees distributed across geographies? Tell me how many managers I have. All these questions the leaders have, right? So, and the leaders, everyone is not technology savvy, right? Everyone does not know SQL. Everyone is not so technically sound. They might be coming from a business background. So if they can interact with the database through natural language, like what we speak, let's say, give me the number of employees who are in the level L6, give me the number of employees who report up to me are software engineers. If the leaders can interact with the database in natural language, that's the best thing they can have, right? So I was developing one of these products, and what we were doing is we were taking small requirements, very small, like 2 3 requirements we were actually taking from the business. We were creating the product, and every month we were deploying them. So we have multiple phases of deployment. What we do is we have something called, it's very funny, we have something called in Google called team fooding, dog fooding, fish fooding. I know this might sound very sunny, like funny. Team fooding is whenever we develop a product, we just roll it out to just 20 users within Google to just test it out. That okay, we have developed this product or we have developed this particular feature. Can 20 of you go ahead and test it? So if these 20 people, and these are every month we are rolling out. So in an agile world, every month we are rolling out features. Every month we are trying to add more features, getting more inputs from our business stakeholders and improving on top of it. So that is what we are doing. So in team fooding, we just take 20 users, get their feedback, improve the product. So once we get, okay, these 20 users are satisfied with the product, we roll it out as a dog fooding. We call it dog fooding. We roll it out to 200 or 400 people, get their inputs, get their thumbs up, get their feedback. What features are going to help them? What features will help to grow the product? So all these we gather. Once we are at the stage of team fooding, we add more features onto the product, and then we roll it out as a fish fooding. Fish fooding is another phase. It's about like 20,000 users, 40,000 users, get feedback from them. Once all of them approves, they're okay, thumbs up. These are the features we need more. Then we go for a GA launch, which is a general availability launch. Whatever you see, Google Gmail, YouTube, whatever features you see goes through these processes within Google. So one is team fooding. This is very specific to Google. This is not an industry-wide practice or industry-wide terminology, but you can actually Google it probably. Team food, dog food, and fish food. It should be available on Google somewhere. So that is how we do agile development. We do iterative, collaborative, and we embrace those changes. Whatever changes the business comes up with, we have such a nimble like structure that we incorporate those changes, improve the product, roll it out, and ask for feedback. That is what we do. We do continuous, we deliver really fast, we deliver value very fast, we do continuous improvements into the product and prioritize adaptability and based on customer feedback. So in Agile, what we have seen so far is 71% of the organizations report faster project delivery. You can understand, right? Because if we are making improvements over and over, obviously what will happen is the product will be more business ready, more user ready, right? So that is what we follow in today's world from agile development. Any questions? Okay. Agile and natural language interfaces, I did touch upon these. So we were developing, we are still developing this natural language interface for our business leaders, where we did iterative NLU training. What we did was every time we built some feature, we immediately shipped it out. We shipped it out to our users and asked that, okay, start using it. So last year, from almost September till November, we did the development. We ideated, did the development, rolled it out to our users for in December for about 4 weeks. So this team fooding was for 4 weeks. We gathered all the feedbacks from our users. We almost rolled it out to 200 users, gather those feedbacks. The feedbacks can be in the form of thumbs up, thumbs down. The feedback can be in the form of just open text feedback. The feedback can be in the form of Google Forms. So we created Google Forms as well, where we were gathering feedback from our users. Once we gathered those feedbacks, we incorporated those changes. So what we did, we completely changed the product, you know. I mean, we developed a standalone application initially. 2024 implementation was a standalone chat interface for our business leaders. 2025, we changed it. We just kept the back end of it. And what we did was we integrated that product, the chat interface, we integrated with the dashboards that the leaders are already using. So just imagine, in a waterfall world, that would have been like 2 years worth of effort, which will probably go off without creating any value. But since we are agile, we were always incorporating those changes. We were taking feedback. We were actually implementing them. We were able to make those adjustments. So rapid chatbot feature development, yes, that is what teams use. Agile sprints. So we use sprints. Our sprints were like every 4 weeks. We were ending a sprint. We were taking user stories, implementing them, and then rolling out those features to our business stakeholders. User-driven conversation design. It is very user-centric, right? Because we always loop in our users, we loop in our business stakeholders, get them to be involved in the process. We integrate user feedback loops. So whenever we get those feedbacks in the form of thumbs up, thumbs down, or through Google Forms, we continuously optimize our product and improve it continuously, enhancing the overall user satisfaction. So users will be more satisfied, because I mean, for us, our users are basically the VPs, SVPs, directors, all of them. So we made sure that even what we do is we do a UX study, user experience study. Once we roll out a feature, we have a separate team, user experience team. Just imagine, even before joining Google, I did not have any idea about like we can have a UX team as well. And we only knew that, okay, there will be only software engineers in this. No. So there are program managers, product managers, I mean the product management. There are software engineers, there are UX team, user experience team, who actually go out and interview the business stakeholders. That they say that, okay, what are the features you liked? What are the features you did not like? What features you recommend us to implement so that our products will be more usable? So there is a completely different team, user experience team, who goes ahead and interviews all the users. There is UXD, user experience design. You see all the Gmail interfaces, right? The YouTube interfaces, Gmail interfaces, whatever products you use, all has been designed by the UXD team, the user experience development design team. There is UXW, user experience writing team, who creates all these texts. These are very specialized people. They write UX team writes
Sir, you're on mute somehow.
Okay. Is someone muting? Okay. So we have a completely different user experience team who drives the user experience. It's a huge thing, right? I mean, if the Gmail interface does not look good, obviously you will not be using it. Neither me, I will not be using it. We want users to adopt our products, and that is why we have a separate team who drives the user experience. Um, So generative AI revolutionizing the product design. How many of you use ChatGPT and Gemini? Have you heard about ChatGPT and Gemini? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I know, yes, sir, but can someone tell me what is ChatGPT or what is Gemini? It might be wrong. Don't worry about it. What is ChatGPT? Come off mute. Come on.
Sir, it's
Yes.
basically a chatbot which helps us in solving our tasks, whatever we
So,
like. Helps
okay.
us with
Okay.
the assignments.
Absolutely. That's a great answer, Pranjal. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. Yes, actually, what is happening is OpenAI, led by Sam Altman, has developed ChatGPT. Similar is for us, which is Gemini. So it is trained on a huge corpus of data. I mean, whatever data is on the internet, we see, right? When we Google, we see a lot of data coming in. So all these large language models are trained on these corpus of data, whatever is present. Now, the main focus of these large language models is just predicting the next word, So, for example, if I say the the cat chased the large language model is trained to predict the last word, like the cat chased or the dog chased the cat, for example. The cat cannot chase the dog. It can, but anyways. So it just predicts the next word with the context of what it has behind it. So that is just LLM, large language models. And LLM are used extensively in the industry right at this point. You write essays, you ask LLMs, ChatGPT or Gemini. You write emails, you ask that, okay, I want to write an email to Neelanjan asking for an opportunity for an internship. It will write it for you because it knows it has been trained on large corpus of data to actually come up with those texts. So right now, generative AI is being used in multiple places, like concept generation. For example, we just released a image creation tool in Gemini. We have video creation tools within Gemini, so it can create videos, it can create images, it can create text. So it's revolutionizing the overall space at this point in the software industry. Large language models, I spoke about it, is trained on massive data sets encompassing a wide range of technical information. Not only technical, it can be any. It can be history, it can be geography, it can be about politics, it can be about technology as well. So it's trained on vast amount of data. It knows, and it is trained on multiple languages as well, so you can interact. So we just had a hackathon last week in Google. One of the team developed like English to other language translation, right? Language to language translation. So it was like a chatbot which will do immediate translation on the fly when two person is talking in different languages. For example, I'm talking in English. Someone is on the other side is a Bengali person or a Hindi who knows only Hindi. Live translation. So that is what one of the hackathon projects were. So yeah, advanced language understanding LLMs possesses the ability to interpret and generate human-like text. So what it does is it takes the text behind as a context and generates the next word. How it generates, it's kind of complex. I'll be very honest, I do not know the actual details of it, but I use it a lot. I mean, we use it a lot. Um, there are researchers in Google DeepMind. So DeepMind is a, I work in core. Google DeepMind is actually developing these large language models, and every person who works in DeepMind is either a PhD or a researcher. So I just wanted to give that context because they are the people who are actually developing these models, who are actually developing these algorithms. They're very learned, has vast amount of knowledge, um, and very adept in their own space. So, but anyways, I'll come to Google DeepMind later on. Large language models capabilities, limitations, and applications capabilities. You can summarize, it can translate code, it can generate code for you. So right now what's happening is there's a major shift coming in the industry. Companies are actually asking their employees to use more and more of these large language models, or the applications in the sense Gemini or ChatGPT to actually write their code. They do not want software engineers to write code from out of the box. They want employees to use all these chatbots in the form of Gemini, in the form of ChatGPT, to write their code. And what they can do is not always they write the right code, right? So these software engineers are directed that, okay, once they write your code, make sure you verify them. Your role should be verifying them. And just imagine the pace at which we will be able to develop softwares going forward with these large language models. Limitations, it has bias. For example, let's say if we are training only on, let's say, India's data, so it won't know about US data, right? It won't know about Europe's data. So any questions related to US or Europe, let's say, it might have a bias. It might not be able to answer or even be able to answer if it is able to answer, it might be wrong. So it has bias. It has lack of common sense because it just predicts the next word. So it does not have any kind of common sense at all. It just does a probability distribution that, okay, all these words, let's say the dog ran after the cat, the dog ran after the mouse, the dog ran after the ship. So it does a lot of it takes all the variations into account and chooses the one with the highest probability. So it has no common sense whatsoever. Difficulty with factual accuracy, because all these large language models is very expensive to train, very expensive to train. So it takes millions of dollars for the companies to train these large language models, and thus they cannot train it every day, they cannot train it every month probably, because it is so expensive, so time consuming. So it has knowledge or data as of a certain time. Probably if you ask them that, okay, what happened on 6th of September here, it might not be able to answer. Let's say there was a flooding somewhere, or there was some kind of an earthquake, it might not have that answer. And that is something which is being solved by agent space at this point. That's a different topic. But it lacks factual accuracy because not every day or every second the large language models or these applications are trained. So the data is as of a certain time. In terms of applications, automating documentation, as I mentioned, writing your essays, writing your emails, probably writing your research papers. You never know. Designing user interfaces. So we are designing, as I mentioned, we are designing a user interface for our business leaders, where they will be able to interact with the data through natural language. Creating technical reports, as I mentioned, probably going forward, you might be creating your reports through ChatGPT and Gemini, but obviously make sure you proofread them. Do not just take it off the box and just ship it out. Um, so this is basically natural language processing. What happens is right at the top, it's natural language, what we speak every day, as I'm speaking or as you will be speaking. Humans communicate in plain natural language. Whatever we process, any kind of algorithms or a technology which processes it is called natural language processing, transforms natural language into machine readable data. Right now, what we are implementing, I mentioned NL2 SQL. Sorry, because we are actually implementing an NL2 SQL interface, so I wanted to highlight on that. So it turns natural language into matrix dimensions and filters behind the scenes. Matrix are like, can you give me the sum of empty squares? Okay. So what it does is it turns it into matrix dimensions. Dimensions are group by functions. In SQL, you might have written group bys, right? Filters are basically give me the data for India. So where country is equal to India. So that it turns it into matrix dimensions and filters, and then it hits the database to get all the data from the database. So that is how mainly a natural language processing NL2 SQL interface works. Um, Challenges of natural NL2 SQL: language ambiguity. For example, a person from India will speak a different language compared to the person who is in US, compared to the person who is in Europe. The variation of language is different. Even within the region, for example, in West Bengal, people, they might be speaking Bengali, but different variations of Bengali. In, let's say, Delhi or UP, they might be speaking Hindi, but different variations of Hindis are there. So language ambiguity creates a problem. Schema complexity. Depending on the schema, how the annotations are, it sometimes the large language models they hallucinate. Data security, because you are feeding data into the large language models, right? So how it will be using your data, where it will be using your data. For example, PII, personally identifiable information, PII, SPII. For example, my Aadhaar card number, it is kind of a PII, right? I should not be knowing your Aadhaar card number. I should not be knowing your age. So all these data, if it is fed into the large language models, can lead to data security breaches. Continuous learning. So as I mentioned, it cannot be trained every day. It requires a lot of resources to train natural language interfaces, not only like natural language interfaces, but the LLMs. And it has to continuously go through a continuous learning process. Okay, enough of software engineering concepts, enough of natural language interfaces and LLMs. But now coming to the meat of it. Um, I will probably take up questions from here on. Um, Let me expand and see if I have any questions. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, awesome. I probably did stopped sharing. I see a lot of, okay. I will come with your answer, Yashwardhan. For someone aspiring to join Google, how should we balance competitive programming DSA practice with real world development projects? Does Google look for deep expertise in one area, ML backend systems, or a more well-rounded skill set? How can a student stand out where? Okay, that's a very good question. Very, very good question, Yashwardhan. For a fresh graduate out of a university or a college, they look for fundamental concepts. They look for very fundamental concepts like your DSA algorithms. For example, linked list. If you are, I mean, if you, how many of you know about lead code? Raise your hand or say yes. Okay, Sarvesh. Thank you, Sarvesh. A lot of you know lead code. Okay, perfect. That's amazing. So, what all these companies like Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, OpenAI is actually coming to India at this point. They all want you to have very good knowledge about the fundamental concepts of algorithms, how to use them. If you're trying to get into a software engineering role, so you have to make sure that you do lead code. There is a channel on YouTube. I kind of follow him. It's called neetcode.ai, I guess. NEET code. So he has given all the solution. He was actually working in Google, and he has given the most optimized solution for all the lead code problems. See if you can solve them. That is the best way to get into. If you have machine learning and backend related um, knowledge, that will actually help you. That will for sure help you in get landing a job. I would say do projects. Whatever projects you do, make sure you upload them on GitHub. Make sure you create a LinkedIn profile, a very robust, strong LinkedIn profile is something which you need to create. Whatever projects you do, I mean, probably you'll be doing with your batchmates, right? Make sure you get those on LinkedIn. If you check my LinkedIn profile, I have listed down all the projects I did during my master's program. So I try to list them. That is actually going to help you. Whenever you apply for a job, they shortlist your profile. They actually come and take a look at your LinkedIn profile. And if they see that, okay, you have done machine learning projects, you have worked somewhere as an intern, or you know data. I mean, not you cannot say that you know about the algorithms and everything on LinkedIn, but you can mention it for sure. The more projects you show, practical projects you show, the better chances of getting a call from all these companies. And never ever think that it is Google, it is Microsoft, it is probably, let's say, Netflix. People like us work there, right? I mean, do not ever feel shy or feel intimidated in applying to these companies. Just apply. For me, I can tell you, in my master's program, after in the last semester, I applied to almost 100 jobs in the US. Every day I used to apply to 10 jobs. And how many calls did I get? Can someone guess? Can someone guess how many calls did I get out of 100 jobs that I applied? Come off from mute. Come on. How many jobs did I get a call for? Three. So never lose hope. I know probably you do not want to come off of mute, but only I got 3 calls. But luckily I was able to convert one of them. And even before converting that, the place where I interned, I was able to, I mean, I did quite a bit of good work where I interned. It's a company in Houston called Waste Management. It's a Fortune 200 company. So since I did quite a good amount of work there, they offered me a full-time position. So I already had something in my hand. I already had an offer before graduating, but I still applied because I wanted to get into a better company. So that is how. So never underestimate yourself. One, prepare for the algorithms, prepare for any of those machine learning concepts. You have Coursera, you have Udemy. Get those courses. If you can do certifications on cloud, AWS, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, if you can have certifications under your belt, that will actually help you more in landing or getting a call from these companies. So the more you fortify yourself, the better it will be. I hope I was able to answer. Yashwardhan, was it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem. Param Rahul Mehta. With AI research and development advancing so quickly, are our laws prepared to handle its ethical challenges like data? Wow, that's a very good question. Amazing question. Um, Param Rahul. Okay, Rahul, that's a we every day we have to deal with this because Google being with its presence in 50 countries, every country has its own law. Europe has its own data retention law, right? So before even launching a project, we have to write PDDs. PDD, Privacy Design Document. I have to write it actually. So that's a very good question, Param. So we have to get approval from our security, legal, and privacy before even launching a team food. I talked about team food, right? Team food, dog food, fish food, and then GA, the general availability of the product, the productionized product. So even before the team food, releasing it to 20 users within Google, we have to go through an extensive PDD review, privacy design document review, with our privacy, legal, and security, because we will be using employee data. We will be using data from outside, probably. So the laws are not still baked, coming to your question. The laws are still evolving because this is a very new space, right? I mean, this large language models, AI, ML is still, I mean, probably large language models are just 3 years old. Probably in 2022, we started using it. It came into live in 2022. So all these are very new technologies and the industry is shaping around it. All the security, privacy, legal aspects around the AI ML stuff, AI research is getting molded at this point. You have to give another 2, 3 years or 4 years before it is completely robust. At the same time, people know what they should be using and what they should not be, whether there are ethical concerns using large language models for a particular use case. That is something which will take some time. And even our privacy folks, so we have privacy engineers, we have legal engineers who work with us on these particular products, right? Even they are actually changing. They are the way we used to ship our products, the way we used to go through privacy design reviews, that is also changing rapidly. But yeah, Rahul, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, it does. Also, I wanted to ask, so Google has Nano Banana as its image generation model, right? So the applications of that are vast, and they're also come into concern with ethical challenges like using it for maybe a wrong purpose or misleading the audience, or along those lines. Like, how do we mitigate this?
Um, Good question, but the onus or the responsibility is not on us to certain extent. Even the interfaces like Gemini interface, you'll be able to use the nano banana, right? Yeah, yesterday actually I tried. They generate an image for Nilanjan. It will not generate it for you. It will tell you that, hey, I cannot generate it for a particular name or a human being. So all these companies, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, who has the Claude a large language model, right? So all these companies are already taking precautions. But is that enough? No. I mean, the way we use it, to certain extent, the responsibility is on us as well, right? For example, I can give you a very practical example. In India, we do not drive in straight lanes, right? Whose responsibility it is? Is it our um, like the members of the parliament, their responsibility? No, it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility that we will not litter the streets with all the trash, right? It's our responsibility. Similarly, the way we use all these large language models, all these interfaces like the chat GPT as well as Gemini, it is our responsibility to a certain extent how we use it. We should not be using it for detrimental purposes. We should not be using it for causing harm to anybody, right? It's our responsibility. And how we drive on the streets, we should not be causing harm to others, right? It's our responsibility. Similar is the case where we should not use in such a manner. These are technologies which can actually help in lot of ways, right? So we should try to use them in a constructive manner rather than being destructive. um
Definitely,
Rahul.
yeah. Yeah, Param, yeah. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and what would be your view on how AI will be integrated into our lives in the coming decade?
um Amazing. um the products are still not developed. I just heard um interview from Sam Altman. He's the co-founder of OpenAI. In future it might happen every one of us, like we actually use all these mobile phones, right? We'll probably have an assistant working with us going forward. We might have, so in one of his interviews he mentioned that the highest tier of OpenAI subscription might might actually ship a robot going forward. But I mean, there has to be a lot of changes which needs to happen. The mechanical engineering part has to develop a lot along with the artificial intelligence part to actually ship a production grade robot. But we are not far off. I mean, if we make good strides in mechanical engineering, along with artificial intelligence, you might see that, okay, the highest tier of OpenAI, when you get a subscription, they actually ship you a robot. But that is not something which is going to come probably in a year. We do not know how it's going to change. What he mentioned, I really liked it. The technology, the large language model technology has so much advanced that it will take the products years to catch up with the technology. What they mean is the products that we are developing today are nowhere near to the capabilities these large language models have. That is what he said. So there will be a lot of products. For example, Nano Banana is one such product you see. Have you heard about Waymo? Who has heard about Waymo? A self-driving taxi.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So Waymo is one of the bets for Alphabet. So Google is one of the bets, right? Alphabet is the parent company. Waymo is a bet within Alphabet. So in Austin, downtown, where my office is, I see taxis with no drivers in it. Just imagine, it's so fascinating, right? So it uses the AI vision to actually navigate through the roads. It's so nice. So, sorry, where was I? I lost my thought. But anyways, so that is how everything is changing around us. I mean, we are catching up with the technology around what is there. We still do not know the capabilities of it. Being the stewards of these technologies, the stewards of using these technologies, we should always use them in a responsible way. We should always use it in a form so that it does not cause any harm to others. Image generation can go to any extent, so we should be very responsible. But yeah, okay. Param, thank you for your question. Ishani, at this stage, should we stress more on projects or DSA? Both are important, I get that, but where should we concentrate? You should concentrate on DSAs at this point. The moment you to get an interview call, um, you might be able to show projects, but during an interview, actual interview, so I went through almost like 5 to 6 rounds of interview, and two of them were coding rounds. So showing my projects, they will not take me, right? They will not give me an offer just by showing my projects. What they will do is they will assess me that how are my coding skills. They will give me coding problems, and I have to solve them. So, absolutely, to crack interviews, you need to learn the algorithms, application of algorithms, lead code. Absolutely. There is something called blind 75. There are 75 problems. It's called blind 75. That is something which you can start with. Um, Specifically, these are the lead code problems are needed for all these FANG or MANG companies like Meta, Apple, Alphabet, Netflix, and what was it? Google? Alphabet, I already mentioned. Um, Mainly, the lead code is needed for these. If you want to get into all these consulting firms like Accenture, TCS, Cognizant, I mean, you do not need to go and solve all the lead code problems. You might be well off with just solving for like simple algorithms like reversing a linked list, or probably sorting an array, or merging an array, or probably finding a palindrome. So all these will suffice. But if you want to get into all product companies, that is where you need to solve all the lead code problems, DSA. Projects, yes, it's going to help you. Projects is going to help you, but you have to go and write the programs, right? One more thing is system design. System design is another aspect apart from the DSA. You need to, I mean, there might be questions like how do you design Netflix? How do you design Uber? How do you design, let's say, Gmail? How many servers you need throughout the world? What are the QPS queries per second you can entertain with your system design? All these, I mean, there are multiple YouTube channels. There are courses as well on system design, but system design and DSA are the fundamental concepts that you need to have in order to crack interviews. Um, Ishani, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was talking to lead code, need code
Sir, I
drivers.
had a yeah.
Yes, Pranjal, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had a question regarding the data usage and privacy in Gemini. So basically, like when we as users interact with it, right? Like how is the data actually handled? Like for example, is it further used for training the model further? If yes, then like how is the privacy and confidentiality of that like data is you handled? Because now I recently read a conversation that the conversations in ChatGPT and Gemini could be even admissible in courts as well. So, how is the confidentiality handled by these companies? The legal concerns.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question, Pranjal. So, before you start using all these platforms, I would say platforms, because Gemini is not actually an LLM. I mean, behind the scenes, it's an application actually. ChatGPT is an application. There are multiple things going behind the scenes. If it is a logical reasoning, it goes to a particular large language model. If it is a mathematical solve, it goes to a particular large language models. But yeah, coming to a question, before you start using all these platforms, you should go through the privacy and security policy. They have it open. They have it open for you. They were absolutely right in those privacy and security policies that whatever you feed in, whatever you prompt, will be used for training purposes or will be used for me or for further developing or improving the product. So if you accept those privacy and security policies, only then you will be able to use these platforms, right? So you're already abiding by that. So you should be, as a user, you should be aware of these policies, whatever they have defined. You can get into the settings somewhere. I mean, you can probably see them. Um, so do use it. They do use it. So and that is a major aspect whenever we develop products on top of these technologies. One of the main questions our privacy folks ask is, are you going to feed employee data into those large language models? Because that is a big no. That is a big no from our privacy and security, that we should not be feeding any of the employee data, any other data for developing this product into the large language model. That's a big no, because how it will interpret it, where will it show it? We do not have any kind of restrictions from the large language models. So for example, I put in my let's say my compensation details into Gemini. Tomorrow Pranjal goes ahead and asks it, okay, tell me what is Neelanjan's salary. It hallucinates. The underlying technology is does hallucinate, right? So it might happen, it might probably give out that data to you, which will be a security breach. So um, so that is very important for us when we are developing the product. That is very important for the privacy team when they are actually going through the privacy design documents, as I mentioned before. As a user, as an external user, Pranjal, you should be aware of the security and privacy policies that they have mentioned, and only use where you do not share your personal information, do not share your bank information, do not share your the information which is very private to you. Make sure you do not share, because it can be used somewhere else. So that is how. um, Pranjal, let me know. Does that
Yeah,
answer your?
yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
I will take more questions. Ishani, I know you have Vaibhav. I think Ishani has a question. Vaibhav has a question. I'll quickly share my screen, cover a bit of more topics, and then I'll come back to the question. I have enough time to go ahead and field all your questions, if that is okay. How to land software engineering internships in India? Uh, you already have asked a lot of questions. I probably answered some of them. Mastering data structures, very important. Work with your professors. Work amongst your team. Like you make a team, make a group where every day you probably practice two, three algorithms, two, three questions on lead code. SQL, core programming languages like Python or Java, both are being used extensively in the industry. um, it does not matter which programming language you are using. I'll be very honest. Even for my interview, what they came up with was pseudocode. They did not, I mean, they did not come up with, okay, you need to know Python, you need to know Java, you need to know C, C++. I knew C, I knew Python, I did not know C++. So what that interviewer did, during the interview, that interviewer actually walked me through the syntax of C++. They do not want you to learn the syntax. What they want you is a very clear understanding of your concepts, how algorithms work. And I was able to crack that. Just imagine, on the fly during the interview actually helped me learn the syntax. he spent about 5 to 10 minutes on that. The rest 30 minutes I was able to actually answer, knowing the overall concept, knowing the overall flow. So languages is not a preference. If you're able to solve in any language, does not matter. But certain languages have advantages, like Python has a lot of library support. I mean, you can write very small piece of code and achieve a lot. So Python somehow nowadays is being preferred, but there is no such hard and fast rule that you need to know Python or you need to know Java, you need to know C or you need to know C++. No, not at all. You need to know R or let's say Golang. There is no hard and fast requirement. Leverage platforms, make sure you leverage LinkedIn. Every one of you should have a LinkedIn profile going forward. If you do not have one, you open one today. Open one today. Make sure you have connections. Make sure you explore the LinkedIn as a platform. Connect with people. Every person is on LinkedIn. I mean, I landed my job through LinkedIn. Can you imagine? So I was trying to find jobs, right? And I found this particular job for Google on LinkedIn, and you will be able to make connections. Connections are very important in your life. For my master's program, I not only honed on my technical skills, but I created a lot of connections. All my friends are in different companies. For example, if there is an opening in another company, like let's say if my friend is in Uber or someone is in Salesforce, I can reach out to them. So LinkedIn is a platform where you socialize with people. Make sure you have a very professional profile, unlike Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you have a very professional photo. You have your project listed down. You have the languages you know, what your specialties are, what your skills are. Make sure you list them down. Any projects you do, any certifications you do, make sure you list them down on LinkedIn. How to apply? You go to company websites, you can find those jobs on LinkedIn, you can find those jobs on Indeed. There are multiple platforms at this point. So, and you can go to the company profiles and start applying. One more thing I want to stress on is you might apply to 5 jobs and say that, okay, I applied to 5 jobs, I need 5 calls, I need 5 interview calls. That does not happen. I'll be very honest with you. You have to go on applying. Apply to 100 jobs. Make sure if you want to get into good companies, you need to network. You need to have good LinkedIn presence. You need to have good socialization skills, connect with people, apply to jobs. All these are needed. It's a holistic thing that will actually help you to land a job. It's not just your technical skills. If you're not able to market them, no jobs. So you have to hone on your skills. You have to sharpen your skills, be it technical, be it your what to say, your actual speaking, the way you interact, all your socializing skills have to be sharpened. Along with that, you have to market yourself. You have to market that, yes, I know these languages, I know these algorithms, I have worked on machine learning projects. You have to go ahead and market yourself. Showcase projects, as I mentioned. So, showcase project, build and maintain a strong GitHub portfolio. If you have done projects, make sure you create a GitHub portfolio and upload the code. Coding and solving problems as practical. Network effectively, I mentioned it repeatedly. Repeatedly, I will tell you, network, network, and network. It will help you land jobs. I mean, even your friends, make sure you tomorrow what will happen is one of your friend will be in Google, one of your friend will be in Microsoft, you will be working for Nvidia tomorrow. So make sure you connect with your friends, make those connections, call them once you graduate from your BTech, call them, make sure you keep those connections alive. I do that, even today I do that. So make sure you connect with your seniors, whoever has landed a job, probably 1 year senior to you, 2 years senior to you. I actually landed my internship at Waste Management through an interview. I mean, through a senior of mine. He actually helped me to get an interview call. Now it's up to you. Once you get an interview call, it is up to your skills whether you will be able to crack or not. But to even get an interview call, you need to have connections. You need to make connections. Just applying, blunt applying will not help. Okay, I know someone is very happy. um, Okay, anyways, attend tech meetups, try to be a member of IEEE. That is another platform you can leverage. Participate in online communities, engage with industry professionals. If you get to speak with more industry professionals, ask your professors, Professor Gorango, Professor Kranti, they are your resources. They will be able to connect you to multiple people. They have their friends, right? They will be able to, their friends might be in some companies, or if you want to do a graduate study, they will be able to help you. Leverage your professors. They are there to help you, right? They are knowledgeable people who are adept in their own field. Try to work on research projects with professors. Your Professor Gorango, Professor Kranti are working on research projects. Make sure you collaborate with them. Tell them that I want to work with you. Give me some projects and develop your portfolio. Coming to preparing for interviews, I do not want to get into, because we are already kind of over time. I will stop sharing. I will not get into, I mean, behavioral skills are very important. Communication is very important. I mean, just not your technical skills. Communication skills are very, very, very important. Success depends on 99% how you communicate. I can tell you how you communicate. Only 1% is your technical skills. The VPs of the company, they do not code. They do not know software engineering skills. What they know is how to speak. They have a holistic idea about what is going on, what technologies are there. That is what they know about. And very good orators. The VPs, SVPs, if you get into big positions, you have to be a good orator. You need to brush up on your behavioral skills, how you interact, how your um, body language is, how you speak, how your eye contact is very important. Mock interview, system design, I mentioned. I'll not get into those details anymore. Graduate studies. Okay, I will take questions.
Did he leave?
Yeah, maybe due to some technical faults, it's not audible, not visible now. So I request all participants to wait for a few minutes. It will be resolved. Okay. And don't leave the meeting.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, you are
Yes.
now audible.
Okay, I'm really sorry. Let me. Okay, one second. Let me close this browser.
Sir, your voice is echoing about 2, 3 times.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry for all. My browser actually gave up. I don't know why. Sorry for that. I'm joining from another laptop. Okay. I'm here to field questions. Any questions you have? I'm really sorry for all the technological slang, but let me know if you have any questions. So,
Yeah. So I had a question. So a couple of friends and I had applied for Google the past year for the STEP internship and this year for the regular internship for 26. But we haven't got back any intimation or interview calls or anything till now. So what can we do to our portfolio or resume to, actually get a call back and, um, get through to an interview?
yeah, good question, Param. There is no one rule for this. I mean, Google being such a what to say, highly coveted company, everyone wants to join Google, right? So there are thousands and thousands of applications which Google receives every month, every day. One is what you can do is you should whatever position you're applying. I know it's an internship position probably. This is what I would do. I will try to tailor my resume according to the position details. Like there are preferred skills which are required, there are minimum skills which are required. I would probably list down those preferred skills and try to incorporate those as part of my resume. um, See how you can relate or write your resume so that it actually speaks about the skills which are required for the role. Now, internships might be quite generic. I mean, they might ask for generic things. So, see if you can highlight them. What happens is the first round of screening takes place through bots. Actually, the bots they go ahead and um, basically they they do the screening. And how do they do the screening? Through keywords. Whatever keywords you have on your resume, they try to match up, like what is the percentage it matches with the job description. So try to match as much as possible. One. Second is connection. If you can get a referral, for example, if you want to apply for a particular company, if you can get someone to refer you, that increases your chances of getting shortlisted. So um, try to find connections on LinkedIn. That is why I mentioned very specifically that make sure you can make connections. So if you have a connection, um, I mean, you can reach out to them, say that, hey, can you refer me to this particular position? I'm really interested. Can you please refer me? So if that person refers you internally, it just increases your chances to get an interview call. Don't even think that you will get inside Google or any company as such. It just increases your chances of getting reviewed by the recruiter rather than the bot. That will increase your chances. um, Apart from that, those are the two main things I would say. For example, I can give you my example. When I came across this particular role, cloud technical solutions engineer, big data, I I reached out to one of my seniors who was in Google who referred me, and that actually helped me to get that first interview call. That first interview call is very important, right? I mean, or else, where will you go and show your skills? Where will you go and show your the projects what you have done? So you need an interview call that will actually increase your chances. And If you go through a referral, there is something like within 72 hours, probably the recruiter has to review your resume and get back. Be it a positive, negative, doesn't matter. But yeah, but again, I mean, do not rely on one application. Go on applying to as many companies as possible. Do not think that you apply to one position and you'll get a call. No, there will be more rejections than successes. I can assure you. So do not lose hope. Go on applying. I applied to almost like within Google. I mean, I never thought that I will be able to get in, to be very honest. But I was interviewed twice, and I used to go and applying. I mean, for like good 2 3 years, I applied before actually getting an interview call and converting it. So it's difficult, but it is doable.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure. I will quickly touch upon graduate studies because that is something which I had on my slides and the browser gave up. Some of you might be interested. I mean, and I would really recommend you to go for higher studies, be it in India, be it in the US, be it abroad somewhere. I would really recommend all of you to go for your master's, PhD, and your professors are really great advisors for you because they have already gone through these programs. Talk to your professors. In today's world, if you have to get into the best, what should I say, best wing of any company. Google is a vast company, right? But who creates these algorithms? Google DeepMind creates these algorithms. Who creates the algorithms for Facebook, Meta? It's the super intelligence labs. If you have to get into those companies, I won't say companies, that wing of that particular company, you need to have a PhD. All are researchers. All are researchers. I mean, you should collaborate with Professor Gourango. You should collaborate with Professor Kranti. Help in their research projects. Build your profile. Check if you're in your third year of studies. Check how you can give or appear for the GRE TOEFL, or I won't say GMAT. GMAT is more of MBA. GRE TOEFL for your master's program or your PhD program. See if you can appear for GATE for your MTech program. One thing I want to highlight, which I came to know later on, you can directly do a PhD. You can directly do a PhD in the US after your BTech. You do not need to go through a master's program. But and moreover, you will get a stipend which is about $2,500, which translates almost into about 2 lakh rupees in Indian currency, just for pursuing your PhD program. But for that, you need to have a very good GRE score. So right now, GRE is out of 340. 170 is quants, 170 is verbal reasoning. If you can score out of 340, if you can score, let's say a 320 and above, 320, 325, you will get a full scholarship. So for me, I did not get a scholarship. My score was like 313. And when I appeared for GRE, it was out of 1600, 800 quants, 800 verbal. So it's easy exam, but if you have to prepare well. You can get a full scholarship and directly do a PhD. If you do not want to do a PhD, you can go for your master's program. The universities have become expensive right now, but for me, what I did was I worked for 2.5 years in TCS, right? So whatever money I got, I just accumulated. I just saved it. I used to do every month, I used to do fixed deposit because I had my aim that I will do my master's. So first semester I paid on my own. My father told me, my parents told me that I do not have money. Simple. I come from a very humble financial background. My father told me that, okay, I do not have money to sponsor you for an MS program. You have to sponsor it yourself. So what I did was, all the money in this 2.5 years I accumulated, I paid for my laptop. I paid for my flight ticket. I paid for my first semester fees. So my first semester fees at Texas A&M was about like 6 lakhs. I paid on my own. Second semester, I took a loan about another 6 lakhs. Luckily, I landed an internship in the summer next year, and they were paying really well. I was able to pay my third semester fees from my internship money, whatever I got. So just imagine I was able to complete my whole master's program in less than let's say 10 lakhs, which even in India at this point, it's kind of difficult. But you have to work hard for your GRE. If you're in your third year, this is the right time. I did not have people, I did not have mentors to actually guide me, or else I would have gone for my master's program right after my BTech, or probably I would have gone for my PhD program right after my BTech. If you have to work for all these R&D centers like Google DeepMind, Meta, Super Intelligence Labs, OpenAI, Anthropic, all these companies, all these wings within those companies, you need to have a PhD. You need to have a PhD. Prepare yourself. These are the years when you actually have fun. BTech is where we had fun. We did not study at all. But I would say be a bit focused. I mean, have focus, enjoy yourself. These 4 years are never going to come in your life. But at the same time, apart from the enjoyment, study a bit, have focused studies that, okay, I want to work for this company, or I want to do MS here, I want to do an MTech here. Utilize your time. I mean, I probably could have utilized it much better. This is what I realized when I look back. But opportunities are immense in India. Companies are hiring like crazy in India. Google, Microsoft, Netflix, everyone is growing like crazy in India. If you want to go abroad, that is also, there are a lot of opportunities, but you have to be good. You have to hone your skills. You have to be good at what you're doing. That is very important. But a lot of information, but questions, please. Professor Gorango and Professor Kranti, let me know if we have to end the session. I mean, I am here. I have enough time to go on, speak as much as possible. Whatever questions you have, I am here to answer. But I mean, if the students have to go, I know they have classes probably, but let me know.
Yeah, so if students, do you have any further questions? Yeah, the season was very interesting and very interactive, and I hope students got lot of benefits from it. And your words are also very inspiring. And I want to inform you one thing: Neelanjan was my BTech classmate, and we are meeting after a long times. So thank you very much, Neelanjan, for giving us time. And
Absolutely.
so if anyone want to communicate with you, so can you please provide your email ID or anything else? So if
Sure.
they have, yes,
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, Professor. I mean, I can share. I mean, you already have my email ID.
yeah,
I would probably prefer, because my inbox will be flooded. Uh,
yes,
I,
yes,
I would probably prefer not. You reach out to me on LinkedIn. Make connections. If you do not want to make connections, follow me. Follow me on LinkedIn. Um, how else? Message me. I mean, I would say email me on LinkedIn.
so
Follow me.
yeah,
Questions. You can probably provide your questions to Professor Gorang. I'll try to answer them as well. It's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege to talk to you all today. There are 75 participants, 75 vibrant energy professionals, um, budding engineers. It's great to see the energy. Thank you for all your questions. It was a lovely session talking to you all. And it has been a privilege. Thanks to Manipal Institute of Technology, the professors, the faculty, dean, associate dean. Thanks to all of you. I mean, this has been incredible. Let me know if you want more such sessions. I am here. Connect
sure,
me on
sure,
LinkedIn.
sure. Yeah. So students, I have shared a feedback form in chat box. So please fill all this feedback form. This is all of you. So this is mandatory for you. And thank you, Mr. Nilanjal, for your words. We'll meet you again in next another season. Okay. So thank you very much.
An honor. Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah.
humbled.
Yeah.
Bye, all.